Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Yeah, buddy, that's right. Get exposure right now. Holler at the homie Paul Mash, man, for Paul Mash TV. Hit up Paul Mash TV across all social media sites, alright? Who we got next? Got next.
Well, hello there. It's another edition of Paul Mash TV again. We're glad that you could join us. And we got a great interview coming up in just a moment. But before we do, thank you again for all the positive feedback and sending in, letting us know what you think about the show. And one thing we also forgot to mention, as you noticed, we still have the same theme song, but I changed the background a little bit, as you've seen. So I hope you enjoy that. But anyway, if you're one of those that haven't sent us feedback, though, be sure to email us. That's paulmashtv, all one word, at gmail.com. And feel free to use that for fan mail as well as artist and band information on how to be on the show. We'd love to hear from you. And feel free to go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/paulmashtv. Feel free to like the page, inbox me, even reply to the videos in question. We'd love to hear from you there. And feel free to subscribe if you're on YouTube watching this right now. Just click that button, hit the bell. You'll get all the latest interviews whenever they become available. And you can even reply to the video in question there as well. And we'd love to hear from you. And we'll recap all of that on the closing credits at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. Right now we have Joe Bateman from Paragould, Arkansas. Very talented country musician, and I think you're really going to like that. And we'll get to that in just a second, but first, here's another quick word from ClickJam. Don't go away.
Does anyone know where Lou is? Anyone? Let's jam.
We're fabulous, nobody's doing for the crushed and the broken hearted. We're fabulous, nobody's doing 'cause we can and we just got started. Come on and bang.
Okay, well, it's interview time now, and with us from Paragould, Arkansas, we have Joe Bateman. Thanks for joining us, Joe.
Thanks for having me, man. Glad
Yeah,
to be here.
Yeah, no problem. We're glad that you could stop by and chat with us for a few. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what was the moment that made you decide to become a musician? I mean, everyone has their story, so let's hear yours.
Man, as long as I can remember, I mean, as far back as I can remember, I've always sang, and I've always had a knack for being the center of attention, I guess you could say. And the entertainment aspect is that's what draws me, like having a crowd singing with you, and it don't matter if it's 5 people or 500 people, or even 1,000 people, I mean, it's awesome to hear them reacting to what you're doing, and as long as I can remember, I've been addicted to that, I guess you could say. My grandma had a video, a VHS of me, a 2-year-old, singing "Killing Time" word for word, standing up in the van on the way to church. And so as far back as I can remember, I've been singing, and and entertaining. And I started playing drums. Got my first drum kit for my 3rd birthday. And my dad always played music, and so him and my mom were both singers, and they brought me up around it, and it was just something that I clung to, and I just love playing music. It's fun, and like I say, it don't matter how we've played for empty houses, for nobody, and we just look at it as an extra practice, and we just jam, and it's just always fun. It don't matter, who's there or who's watching, who ain't watching, or what. It's something that you gotta feel in order to produce music and entertain. You've got to feel what you're doing, and that's, I guess that's that's me in a nutshell. I just love playing music, man.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a pretty good story, I think. Well, tell me about some of the artists that influenced you growing up. I mean, I'm sure you have a whole bunch of them, but maybe you can mention just a few of them.
My dad, for one, like I say, he's actually the original. He played bass for me for a couple different projects I put together, and when we first got kicked off with this go around, he was my bass player for the first 4 or 5 months, and then work schedule and stuff like that. But yeah, my dad would be one of my biggest influences. Elvis Presley, of course, the king of rock and roll, man. Growing up, I've seen every Elvis movie probably 100 times each, and just the way that he entertained, it just always captured me as a kid, and even now, listening to American Trilogy or watching it, on the Aloha from Hawaii special, it gives me chills, whenever the lights and everything, the movement is coordinated perfectly with the music, and Elvis was a very big influence. And of course you can't, I can't forget George Jones, the ballads of George Jones, and the way that he sang, with the passion that he sang with, everything that he did. That was, he was a big influence. Travis Tritt probably is, him and Alan Jackson. I was a 90s kid, so growing up watching them guys, that was definitely a big inspiration. We do quite a bit of Travis Tritt stuff in our shows, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean,
okay, yeah, those are some pretty good artists, especially George Jones. He's the oldie but goodie, I guess is how they say it. So,
he's a pioneer.
Yeah, that's true. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the albums and music that you have? I mean, I'm sure you got some albums. I don't know if you have physical copies yet, but I'm sure you have a digital, and maybe you can tell us where to get them.
Well, currently we've only got the single recorded and released. We went to Nashville the first weekend of March and recorded that with Chris Love Studios, and he produced that for us in the weekend that we were there, and we released it the 1st of April. It got a national radio release, went out to over 2,000 radio stations across the nation, and that's the only album that we have out right now is a single, but we're fixing to start working on a full EP, and it should be available within the next few months.
Okay. And you get that anywhere? Can you get it anywhere digital downloads are sold, or do you not have that on digital yet?
Yes, you can get our single. It's called "The Way I Was Raised," and it's available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, Spotify, all that good stuff. Me and my dad wrote the song a few years back, and he came over, and we were going to sit down and have some family time, and play some cards, eat some supper and whatnot. I'd been messing around with the riff a little bit, and he was kind of mad at the government and politics and stuff, which I don't really get into a whole lot of that, but I was like, well, let's sit down and write a song. So I played him what I'd been working with, and he just throwed some words to it, and we sat there 15, 20, 30 minutes or so. It was done, you know. And but yeah, it's called The Way I Was Raised, and like I say, it's available on any and all downloadable platforms.
Oh, okay. Yeah, is there a kind of a story behind that song? Because we're getting ready to watch that video in just a minute, but I was wondering if there was any, you know, any kind of story behind why you called it the song and so forth.
No, when I was in the service, and during our live performances, I'll tell everybody this during the intro of the song. But when I was in the service, the guys called it the Arkansas song, and again, like you had said at the beginning of the interview, I'm from Paragould, Arkansas, little dot in the northeast corner. But you know, the Arkansas song, and it just kind of stuck. And you know, The Way I Was Raised, that's just, you know, it talks about, you know, things that you grow up doing here in Arkansas, and you know, things that I grew up doing, and kind of gives you an idea of what I'm about. And who Joe Bateman is.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned a moment ago, we're going to watch that in just a moment here. But I guess that's about all we really need for now, Joe. And we want to thank you for coming on the show. Excuse me, and talking with us. We'd love to have you back though sometime. If you ever have anything to plug, we'd love to have you.
Hey, I'd love to be back. Thank you for having me this time.
Okay, no problem. And here's The Way I Was Raised by Joe Bateman right here on Paul Mash TV. Don't go away.
Something going on around here, and I ain't sure just what. Big wigs up in Washington are trying to take everything I got. I'm down to my last dollar, but everything's gonna be alright. Cause I'm Arkansas bred, cornbread fed, and this country boy will survive. Got a shotgun in the closet, and I ain't scared to use it if you mess around here. Don't you mess around here. I was raised to work for everything I got. For all my blood, sweat, and tears, I still ain't got a lot. It don't take a lot for me to have a damn good time. I don't need to spend $1,000 on a steak and a glass of wine. Put a pig in the ground in the backyard, pass around a bottle at Arkansas homemade shine. I still got my guitar, my kids and my wife, and I'll bust my ass every day just trying to survive. And I can sit out on my back porch at the end of every day and not be ashamed of the way I live or the way that I was raised. The way I was raised. I went off to war to learn to be a man. Stand up on my own 2 feet and be proud of who I am. I came home to my family and this here ordinary life, and I thank my God every day 'cause I'm glad to be alive. I wanna hit it big in Nashville if everybody likes this Arkansas style. My Arkansas style. I still got my guitar, my kids and my wife, and I'll bust my ass every day just trying to survive. I can sit out on my front porch at the end of every day and around here.